Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah. Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto. Under 20 today, like it is every day except Sunday, which is 21 total carbs. Oh my. Anyway, how do you like my spring outfit? Right. It's winter clothes in spring colors, and we call that New England fashion. We're awaiting the fourth nor'easter in the month. So, yeah, so I thought I'd just bring a little spring. And my daughter-in-law gave me the scarf for Christmas, so I found a matchup for it. Yeah. So anyway, here we are doing keto. I had a troll this morning, and I was going to keep him up, and I think I just deleted him. But he said, "You poor thing, you are old and you're going to die soon, so why not have some pecan pie with ice cream?" So I left him a very snarky comment and then felt bad about it and went and deleted it because you just leave trolls alone and they just go away and find some other low bush to go under. They come out in the middle of the night. So yeah, I had all kinds of pithy, snarky comments back to him. And I can be such a brat. How are you? How are you doing with your keto? Are you having a good month? This is still March, and so this is the time to get on it because as soon as it starts getting warm and you have to show parts of your body beyond your wrist and beyond your ankle, it would be great if you got a jump on your keto food plan and start swimming along and making it all work for you. Not to mention your health. I was just reading some eatthebutter.org latest news, and I guess there was a whole bunch of stuff that I was reading, and I just enjoy anything keto. Oh, that's right. He said it was so sad that I'm so obsessed with keto. And it's like, well, what are you doing here? This is not a home and garden channel. If it was gonna be, it'd be called that. This is keto, pearls of wisdom and food with keto because it's about keto. Can you see how fired up I can get? And I'm still having my bulletproof coffee this morning. So anyway, the comments have been great as usual. And there are some new people here. I always love that. And don't be looking for too much too soon with your keto program. I've been doing it for, excuse me, about 2.5 years now. And so when you get to like fully in and adapted, you're able to like do things a little bit different. But don't think that after, 30, 40, 50 days that you should be ready to try on some other things like, for example, fasting for more than intermittent fasting, or really going down on your meals if you've been having 3, then going to 2, then going to 1. That is not overnight. I was doing 2 meals a day probably for the first 2 years of keto. When I was doing low carb, high fat, I was doing 3 meals a day. And that was just basically more veggie carbs, sometimes fruit, but no grains of any kind, no sugars of any kind, no artificial sweeteners, no diet soda, and no fruits happened after keto. Although there have been a couple of times I've had a half an ounce to an ounce of raspberries from our raspberry bush out there. It's like Sarah versus the varmints when it comes to how many raspberries it would render. So that's not going to be for another 6 months anyway. We're under a foot of snow and due to get a bunch more tonight. So yeah. So anyway, don't rush this too fast. It's kind of like when you had your children and you couldn't wait for them to be older and plan what they were going to do when they hit school and what they were going to do when they hit junior high and what instrument they were going to play and what college they were going to go to and what they were going to be when they grew up and all that kind of lofty stuff, instead of just slowing down and enjoying the moment. It's not a race to health and weight loss, even though I know that feeling of like wanting to get there, wanting to lose, wanting to I guess compete with yourself and other goals that you might have had 10 or 20 years ago. And that's not fair to yourself. First of all, your metabolism is that much older. And, if you want to get depressed, read articles about how your metabolism slows down when you get older, because it does. So just, you want to be a turtle. You want to just be a turtle going along, taking care of your needs, eating keto. I'm a strict keto person because it works. I don't sit there and lament what I can't have. I get excited, goofy excited about what I have planned. And that's how it works for me, because isn't it easier to be in the mode of acceptance and content when you're happy with what you have, instead of being sentimental about other stuff, longing for the good old days, all that kind of stuff that it can bring you back there in a way that's just not fun. And you're not enjoying the day. I like to look forward to what I'm eating every day. And I don't, like I made a recipe last night. Greg thought it was a 10. I was like, it's okay. It was with pork. I'd rather have just the plain old pork chop cooked in coconut oil. But maybe I'll make it again and give it to him and have my pork chop. I don't know. But, you try every now and then. I try out something that makes me feel like, Julia Child or something like that. A little more daring than a pork chop or a hamburger patty or a filet mignon with a veggie and then a big side salad. But I keep it simple, and I'm still kind of losing. I'm not intending to, but my weigh-in today was at my all-time low and well below my range. My range is 121 to 123. And I'm just going to keep the range there because I figure this is just a dream. I don't know. I'm eating lots of fat. I'm eating moderate protein, and my carbs are 15, and it's one meal a day. Perhaps that's the recipe. Perhaps that's the older metabolism, older woman recipe. Higher fats, because the brain likes the fats, the skin likes the fats, my organs like the fat. And I consider my coconut oil my Alzheimer's prevention supplement. So I have that in my second bulletproof coffee. I have brain octane in my first one, both with a tablespoon of butter. So I don't fear the fats, and my one meal a day, what keeps me nice, balanced, and leveled, it works for me. I'm not saying you do it, try it, but I'm not telling you it has to be this way, no way or the highway sort of thing. Is I have 2 bulletproof coffees. Now, I work overnight, so I'm having one then, and then I'll have one later in the day, like between 9 and 10. On the days that I'm not working overnight, I wake up between 3 and 4 anyway and have my first bulletproof coffee, and then 6 or 7 hours later, I'll have my second. I supplement with my Celtic salt, and I grind it in a little bowl, wet my finger, put it in, put those crystals on my tongue before I have my salted with pink Himalayan salt water and lemon, and then I'll have that for some electrolytes. I also have other electrolytes through the day, and that keeps it up. I have either my Mountain Valley spring water that I love with all the little bubbles. I'm a sparkling kind of mineral kind of gal, or Smart Water, which is impossible to find for their sparkling water. I'll have those 2 things and a couple of them each day, and that kind of levels out the electrolytes. It keeps it like that, along with the bulletproof coffee. And then I'll have my one meal between 3 and 4 in the afternoon, and it satiates me. I've already dealt with the nighttime eating. If you're a nighttime eater, I can't imagine how I was so addicted to nighttime eating. At one point, not so long ago, it was a tough habit to give up, but it was a habit and it needed to go because if you want the effects of the keto food plan and you're doing 1 or 2 meals a day, you can't be noshing into the wee hours of your evening, because that's gonna it's just counterproductive with what the aim of is for your body. And you're spiking your insulin every time you have a little snacky, even if it's something like a cheese stick or peanut butter or a little handful of nuts. I would always recommend measuring your nuts, because a handful of nuts could be 800 calories. Sounds good, but when you hear what I hear, like keto podcasts, and they say, if you're hungry, have a handful of nuts. It's like, I don't think you quite understand the food addict. At least this food addict, I could go crazy with a handful of nuts. So I keep it very, very simple, day after day after day. And some people break away from the, I don't know what you call a herd of turtles, or a jar of pickles. They break away from the tribe and try something else, or think that they can have a couple of treats, be okay, hop back on strict keto, and it just happens. I've seen it for 31 years in AA. I've seen it I've seen it in Weight Watchers. I've seen it in every single kind of structured lifestyle where you think you can have something in safety, and it doesn't happen that way. I don't know why, and nobody's really given an answer on how that really works, but it doesn't. And sometimes it takes a long time to get back, if you get back. But it's not for everybody. I wouldn't recommend it to everybody. I mean, there's some people that I know that if they just did Weight Watchers, I'd be happy, because their food's so all over the place, and at least it's getting the worst of the worst out of their food plan, right? It's not, even then, it's an improvement, even if it's a smaller portion standard American diet. So this is just Sarah doing the do, putting my food into my chronometer before I put it in my mouth. That, I know it seems like, what's the difference? There is a difference, because you are telling your mind this is what you're having in this measured amount later on your little scale, and it's not as time consuming as some people make it out to be. Other people do lazy keto and they're totally successful. My niche are people that need to stay in their own structured little zone. They've already given themselves too much permission to, like, oh, I'm not tracking or measuring. Okay. Oh, I haven't lost weight in 3 weeks. Oh, okay. I'm calling it a plateau. Oh, okay. But I know that my ounce would turn to 1.5 ounces, would turn to 2 ounces, would turn to 3. And suddenly I'm using the big dinner plate and not the salad size plate or the dessert size bread and butter size plate, because I just slowly inch it up. That's how that works for me, being a food addict. Maybe you're the same, maybe you're not. But that's why I need to weigh and measure every day, because I can slowly gram or ounce my way up to, a 3,000 calorie a day diet. But the macros match. The macros are good. I'm still under 20. Yeah. So how come I've gained 8.5 pounds over the winter? So I can't do that. Yeah, I'd like to think that I'm normal. I'm not. So I accept that I'm not. This is what works for me. Come and join me, or don't join me. But you know that if you leave the flock and come back, that I'm pretty much Sarah consistent still. Back to the basics still. I don't leave the basics. Maybe that's it. And so I'm not going to, I know I'm old and I'm going to die soon. And thank you, sir, for pointing that out. And I will not be having a pecan pie with vanilla ice cream, even if I was making Dr. Berg's version of pecan pie and vanilla ice cream. I don't feel like that sort of thing today. I'm not into sugars or sweet anymore. And that's a gift of keto. So join me again next time. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with keto. Usually always under 20, except sometimes I'm under 15. I'll see you the next time. Bye-bye for now.